back after yet another month of of no podcasts, even though we keep on saying we're gonna schedule this shit, we're gonna do it right, we're gonna every week we're gonna put out a podcast. There's been heaps of fights. We can do this, and we don't do it. So
We have set up a schedule. We have set up a schedule.
we have set up a schedule. Whether we live up to this schedule, that is the real question. I believe in us. I do,
I
even if I
believe
don't
too.
really. Anyways,
I believe too, my friend.
so
I believe too. Oh man,
this is
COVID-19. Holy cow.
some
The Charmander. I'm
some
loving it.
peppermint tea in my Charmander cup.
You
Anyways,
got
yeah.
the coolest shit.
Sorry?
Charmander cup. You have the coolest shit. Like Charmander cup, your collection in the back.
Oh yeah,
I love it.
I don't fuck around with my collection. And then if on this
I
side,
still.
all
Mhm.
that's the UFC. That from this side, that's UFC one, all the way to this side, which is UFC 109, and then the bottom here goes from UFC 10 to UFC. Not UFC 10, UFC 110 to UFC 196 with a bunch missed because I kind of just got sick of buying them and I just bought Conor McGregor's pay-per-views.
That's
and a,
cool.
and a
Now,
couple of fight nights.
for, for our viewers, Chris was talking about his collection of videos. Also, another collection that I love. We did not plan this. We're both representing.
Oh yeah, yeah. We didn't plan this. I just chucked this on because it's like the warmest jumper I got, and then yeah, you're wearing the same thing,
Same.
just different color. What are the difference between the jumpers? One's supposed to be like competition top, and one's a. He did tell me when we got them.
Honestly, I don't know.
I
I
think
really
one
don't
was.
know. I just read the one.
I think one was a 10th anniversary top, 10-year anniversary or something
Yes.
like that.
Yes. That's exactly what it was.
Yeah,
And I lost that jumper.
of course you did. Of course you did.
Yeah, I did.
Oh my god. Did you tell him?
No.
Dude, imagine if you told him.
What would I say?
Oh my god, you'd have like 50 sprawls at the start of every class.
Oh, yeah, that'd be pretty bad.
That'd be brutal.
Something that I'm interested in was you mentioned you had a story to tell us.
Oh yeah. Oh my god. Alright, so obviously, like I train jits, you train jits, we do a bit of
Mhm.
wrestling.
Mhm.
Yeah. And when people ask it, they say, "Oh, do you train?" Because I'm watching the fights with some guys, and like, "Oh, do you train?" I'm like, "Yeah, I train." And then over the course of knowing these guys, they build you up as something that you're not. It's like, "Oh, so how'd you do in this fight? If you had to fight so and so," I'm like, "I don't know. I don't want to fight so and so. Nor do I want to find out how I would go fighting so and so." It's like, oh, and then like there's a big cop that comes in and watches the fights with us. He's a big dude,
Mm.
really big dude. He's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, who would win in a fight between you guys?" And I'm like, "I don't want to know. He's got a gun."
Yeah.
Let's not ask these questions. Let's not ask these questions, man. I don't want to find out. And it's like, oh, and the cop's like, "Oh, I've done some boxing, but if it got to the ground, he'd probably beat me up." I'm like, who cares? Why are we having this discussion? Why do we need to know who can beat up who in a room? Where are we getting with this? Anyways, as the drinks progress, um, one of the guys is like,
Ooh.
"Oh, I reckon I could grapple you." I'm like, Okay, that's nice. That's nice." And he's like, "Yeah, I reckon we should." I'm like, "Mate, I've been drinking. You've been drinking. That's just not a good idea." He's like, "Oh, but I'd like to find out. I'd like to see how I could go against you." I'm like, "I don't want to see how you go against me." Because you know what it's like when you grapple someone that's never grappled before? They go
Yeah.
110%, so
They
the only way
spaz.
to slow them down is for you to go hard against them.
Yeah.
And then it always ends up in, "Oh, you hurt me." So
Yeah.
I'm like, "No, I'm cool. I'm cool. I'm cool."
Mm.
Anyways, night progresses. And we continue drinking. And this he's been continuously on my case for the whole night. And like, he's a great guy. He's a great guy. But when he
Mm.
starts drinking, his confidence gets a little bit too high.
Yeah.
So he just kept on going, kept on going. I was like, "We should grab." Like I was just standing there, like my missus was there. We're all just talking, having a
Mm.
bit of fun, and they're all talking, saying, "Oh, I'd like to take up jits. I'd like to do this." I'm like, "Man, I take the morning class at Scammer when it's back. You should come along."
Yeah.
And the guy's like, let's just go. And he starts pushing me. And I'm like, dude, just stop. Stop. Like, I
Yeah.
like you. You're such a nice guy. I get along with you so well. Let's not do this. But he starts
Yeah.
pushing me and pushing me. And I'm like, stop it. Just don't. And
Mm.
he like keeps on pushing and pushing, and so I'm like, oh fuck. And
Oh
he's like,
wow.
like this is in someone else's house, so I don't want to get pushed into
Yeah.
something and break something. So I stand
Yeah.
my ground a little bit. And he starts pushing against
Mm.
me, so I grab a hold of him, and he whips
Mm.
his hand back and he takes like 10 steps back. I'm like, all right, so we done? He's like, no, and he
Yeah.
comes barging forward again. So I arm drag him, take his back, put him in a fucking rear naked. No, not like this, like a gable grip rear naked, and I crank it on. I didn't
Yeah.
crank it on to the point where I like held on and but I cranked it on to the point where I can
But
feel my
yeah.
forearm against his Adam's apple, and I'm like, he's
Yeah.
gonna feel this tomorrow.
Yeah.
And immediately he taps, and he's like, oh my god. And I'm like, so we done yet? And he's like, oh my god, oh I think you broke my throat. Like, I didn't break your throat, man. I did not break your throat. You wanted to know what it's like to grapple? There you go. And he's like, oh my god, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Oh my god.
Oh.
And for the rest of the night, he's doing that. But like only a couple minutes after this, because he kept on going on for a while about how his neck hurt. Another guy came in
Mm.
and he's like, oh, what did that just happen? And I'm like, yeah, yeah. And he's like, oh, I reckon I could wrestle you. So he grabs a hold of me, and I'm like, what the hell? And like he's like, let's wrestle. And he starts like working for like underhooks and shit. And like
Mm-hmm.
he's a small guy, so I couldn't. We were in like a
Yeah.
50-50 position, like over under.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
went to work for a double under, so I could grab a hold of
Mm-hmm.
him and really squeeze.
Yeah.
And I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't getting it, so I'm like, and he's once again pushing me up against the fucking kitchen of someone else's house.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what do I do here? Do I feed into this? And I thought,
Mm-hmm.
fuck it. So with the over under, I just squeezed, put my head into him. I
Yeah.
let him push me one way.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, no, what did I do? So it was
You had over and under.
over under.
You patched in. Table grip.
Yeah,
Bang.
yep, gale grip. So he pushed into
Yeah.
me, and then I pushed him back. And as I pushed him back, I kind of just put my foot behind his knee. So my right
Mm.
foot behind his left knee. And I kind
Yeah.
of just grabbed and just kind of knee tapped it. And as I knee tapped,
Ooh,
he's got
nice.
a hold of me. So I'm falling down with him.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I fall down and I knee him in the nuts. Instantly starts screaming. Instantly starts screaming like, you got me in the nuts! You got me in the nuts! I'm like, oh my god, what is wrong with these people? It's like, oh, you did that on purpose. I, mate, you're a small guy. Your nuts are probably pretty small. I can't aim for that. Nor can I see them, so I can't aim for. Relax your flaps, Jesus. What's going on here? And
Mm.
that. So yeah, for the rest of the night, I had one guy saying that I hurt his throat, and the other guy like grabbing his nuts for the rest of the night. Don't we like they were beyond drunk. They were beyond drunk,
Yeah.
and I was pretty hammered at this point too.
Yeah.
And I was trying to be super reserved about everything that I did, which is why I just took the
Mm.
guy's back, put a choke on quickly. It was done. He knew
Mm. Yeah.
the result of that situation. I didn't have to harp on it anymore. But the guy, when I took him
Yeah.
down, landed on his nuts, and he's just like, ah, and everyone's like, oh, dude, you're being a bit rough. I'm like, what am I supposed? If someone goes at me 110%, just because they say it's the gentle art, it doesn't mean that I can go super gentle and nice things will happen. That just means I'm going to put myself in this situation for longer, where I could potentially hurt myself.
Mm.
So I had to end it quick.
Oh.
Did that, and it was
Yeah.
just, oh my god, so annoying. My goal
I
was when I
love it.
took him down was to put him to a head and arm and fucking just squeeze. Like
Mm-hmm.
the Bobby Watson head and arm, where instead of gable grip,
Yeah.
you go to rear naked grip, put your ass up in the
Mm-hmm.
air, put the shoulder right down in that esophagus.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna do
Oh,
that.
jeez, that's brutal. That is brutal, dude. I love it. I love
Oh
it.
my god, it's like it's funny and it's a good story, but oh, it pisses me off. You
Yeah,
just
at
want to
the
enjoy the
time.
fights, man. I just want to enjoy the fights, have a good time. I don't want to
Mm.
like compare dick sizes or anything.
Mm.
But yeah,
I
that's what
feel you.
happens. That's what happens. But anyway, something cool
Oh,
came out of that. The cop guy was saying that he wants to start learning jits. So he asked me if I could help
oh,
him
that's
out. So I
cool.
might get him to come around every now and then, and we'll start training.
Mm.
I'll just show
That'd be
him a
nice.
couple of a few
That would be
things.
nice.
Figure I'll show him more wrestling than I would jiu-jitsu though, because I mean, if you've ended up on your back and you're a cop, you've probably made a couple of mistakes. Because
Yeah.
you've normally got people there with you to grab the guy off of you. So I assume learning
Mm.
how to like form a great guard wouldn't really be any help to him.
No. Yeah, if you're a cop, you want to take someone down and control them. That's it.
Yeah, yeah. So I figured just teach him a couple of arm drags, a couple of like clinching positions, turn that. Like I reckon
Mm.
arm drag's probably the main thing. Just how to arm drag from different areas, from a
Hmm.
clinch,
Yeah,
from a over under, stuff like that. Yeah,
that makes complete sense.
so
Like,
that's my mindset behind it.
like you hear it all the time. You have jujitsu purple belts, brown belts, full guard get knocked out by like a nobody in the street.
Yeah, well, if I
Yeah.
was in a street fight, I would not be fighting off my back unless I had to, unless
Mm.
I was physically put there. But if I was physically
Yes.
put there, I was probably put there because I didn't have a choice. If I didn't have a choice, I'd probably get my ass kicked. So, because I mean, I'm not letting someone who doesn't wrestle take me down.
Yeah.
If someone's got some experience, sure they're gonna take me down. Fair enough. But say if I'm getting taken down, it's probably because the guy's like a big rugby player size guy, and if he's on
Mm.
top of me, my jiu-jitsu isn't gonna help me because he's gonna land the first
Oh,
punch.
nah, nah. You can sweep. You can get to the back. You can do shit.
Oh, without a gi on, it's kind of tough. A gi
Mm.
makes things so much easier because you can just hold them in position. No gi,
Mm.
they just fucking ba 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 ba. And go full Brock Lesnar Donkey Kong smash on Randy Couture.
Oh god.
Anyway, so
Just
that's
going back into your story,
yeah.
I loved it. Thanks for sharing that. I
Oh,
love it.
I as soon as it happened, like I felt really bad the next day. I felt like an absolute prick, and I was saying to my missus because she was there. I'm like, was it really that harsh what I did? I mean, they wanted to know the outcome of that situation. I showed them the outcome, but they sulked about it all night. I mean, what am I supposed to do? Like, I felt really bad.
What did Andrea say?
Well, she was like, "Oh, you probably went a little bit too hard," because she's done jits in the past. She's like, "When we wrestle, you go a little bit too hard." I'm like, "What do you what what?" And I'm like, "What are they teaching you over there at the gym that you train at? Like roll with chicks as though they're like a 3-year-old toddler?" Like, I don't know.
Oh,
I got in
mm,
trouble at wrestling. Shen, he got annoyed at me because when I was wrestling, what are their names? What's the two girls' names?
fuck, I forgot.
Oh my god, that's really bad.
Chantel? Christina?
Oh no, Chantel, she doesn't train anymore. Actually,
Uh,
we probably shouldn't mention any names on the podcast, anyways.
alright, fair, fair, fair.
Yeah. So the two girls that train with us,
Mm,
I was going really light on them because I figured if I
mm.
just muscle them, I'm probably just gonna
Yeah, not
overpower them and
learning.
hurt them. And
Yeah.
no one's learning anything. But I was obviously going a little bit too light, where they weren't learning anything
Mm,
either because I'm just going too light. They're not. It's not simulating any real kind of contact.
yeah.
So Shen's like, listen, they're not gonna break. They're not like fragile things that you put in like your special case at home. They're fine.
Mm,
Take him down as you would take a guy down. Obviously, don't be a dick about it, but treat
mm,
them as though they're your training partners. Treat them with respect. By treating with
yeah.
respect, I mean going too light is being disrespectful.
Mm.
So, but yeah, so that's. I know where I was going with that point. I've forgotten now.
Did you then go a bit not
Oh
too
yeah, no,
light and her?
because talking about Andrea, because she kind of gets upset when
Oh,
we
yeah.
roll, and I go a little bit too hard on her. But personally, I
Mm,
don't think I am. I'm actually I feel like I'm holding back,
mm,
but it is what it is. When you've
mm.
got 20 kilos on someone, it's probably gonna feel a bit rough when you roll with them.
Yeah, that's fair. Fair.
Anyways, well, sorry I cut you off, but you're gonna ask something about the story.
No, I just want to say I love it. I love it.
Have you been in any situations like that?
No,
Or
no.
like, do you have your mates asking you like, "Oh, you train this? How did you go against this person? This and that?"
Yeah, actually, yeah. A
Yeah.
long time ago. That's probably why there aren't that many stories. Because a long time ago, same thing happened. Just took the back and just made them feel helpless, and that was it.
Mm.
So just, I was like, yeah, let's do it. Just bang, same thing. Take down, control them. They realize they're basically a baby. Can't do anything.
See,
And that's that.
if 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 I wasn't like in a small area and it was with someone that I wasn't a big fan of, I probably would have
Hmm.
taken the back and not choked them and actually made them feel
Hmm.
helpless, like you said.
Hmm.
But because I like the guy and I think he's a top bloke and he was
Hmm.
just curious, but drunk and curious, that's like I just immediately took the back and choked him. So it was just like bang over, like a quick death, like ripping the band-aid off. Mate, it's
I
like
love
a slaughterhouse where they just get that little fucking
it.
thing and go bang into the brain. It's like that. Instead of like killing them slowly, like hanging them upside down and slitting the throat. Although that's
It also
supposed to be
just goes to
humane as
show
well.
you.
I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about slaughterhouses. I was talking to a mate
Man,
about
but
that.
what it also goes to show you is like the stuff that we spend time on training, it's effective, it works.
Well, in my situation, the guy was drunk. It doesn't show me anything apart from when a guy's drunk, he can get choked.
Well, it shows that you have the technique. It shows that you have the skill to be able to do that to a drunk person who is fully resistant.
True. I was also pretty intoxicated, so
Hmm.
which is that was actually one of my
Ah.
main concerns because I'm like I'm so drunk right now. My depth perception is not all there. Like if
Yeah.
someone does run at me, what happens? Like I don't even know.
Hmm. Hmm.
But no, that was pretty funny.
Hmm.
To have
That's a story for the ages, mate.
oh, it was, it was pretty funny. Just like a very basic, just arm right back straight away, and
Love it.
none of this shit. No squeezy stuff. The pain, straight up pain. Like this
I love it.
you do this type of choke if you like someone. You slip it
Gentle,
behind because
yeah.
it's just like it closes in and it's uncomfortable, but it's not painful.
Hmm.
This this is painful because even if it goes over the
Hmm.
chin, you're fucked.
Yeah.
This if it
Yeah.
goes over the chin, you're not really getting the choke,
Hmm.
or you can barely even neck crank because your leverage stops at around about there. Here, your
Hmm.
leverage keeps on going as far as your arm wants to go.
Hmm. Yeah, that's true.
I love it. I love it. As soon as I think it was Nan that was showing us that, and he was like, if they defend with their neck with their chin, that's on them. If they want to if they if they if they don't have a better line of defense, they have to
Hmm.
they have to take your attack. It is what it is.
Hmm.
I mean, it's not a neck crank if they put themselves in a neck crank.
Yeah.
I mean,
Ah.
like you didn't knee them in the face if they just headbutted your knee. Kung Pao style. You remember that? You
Kung
ever watch?
Pao, it's a movie, isn't it?
You never watched it, mate. Watch Kung Pao. Actually, no. Actually, for anyone that watches this, if you want to watch a good movie, but if you've trained under like any form of traditional martial arts like Taekwondo, Jiu-Jitsu, Karate, watch this movie called The Art of Self-Defense. It's got Jesse Eisenberg in it. Oh my god,
Hmm.
it plays so hard on like you'll be watching. You're like, I've been there. I've been there. Like you've trained under some people, some coaches who want you to call them master or want you to like really look up to them like they're a god type of thing. It's really funny.
The Art of Self-Defense. I'll look at that. Rated highly in Rotten Tomatoes, 84%.
It is so good. Personally, I don't think anyone that hasn't trained under like in any of that type of stuff before can really understand it because
Hmm.
it's not about like it shows kids class and stuff like that, but it's not about the kids' perspective in these types of things. It's like an adult's perspective in these types of things, and it's just really
Yep.
weird and funny, and it's fun. It takes a weird turn at the end, but it's a great movie. Anyways, watch it. Should we maybe talk about some
I
fights
will.
that don't involve me in a drunken submission match?
All right, I'm down. And thanks for sharing that. That's an awesome story, mate.
I thought it was great, sir. I'm glad you enjoyed it, man. That's a 20-minute intro.
Hmm.
That's what that is. Okay, so what do you want to start? You want to start on the fight card that comes up tomorrow? Jessica I and Cynthia Calvillo.
Yeah, I'm down.
What fights do you want to discuss on that?
Let's take a look.
Maybe we'll start
God.
from the main event and work our way down. Anything that, if there is anything to work down to.
Yeah, I'm down.
All right.
Jessica I versus such a weak card.
It
Like,
is, but
There are cards.
I
Go
had
on.
someone saying that this is the weakest card of all time. I would like to raise them up. The worst card of all time that I can remember that at the time felt so weak that I never actually watched. Like I've watched every card. I actually never went back and watched this or any of the fights on it. It was that Paddy Houlihan versus Louis Smoker, or no, Louis something Smoker,
Mhm. Luis
and
Pena?
no, this was
No,
a while ago. Let's see if I can find it.
I've never heard of that card. It was a fight night,
Paddy,
obviously.
yeah, Paddy Houlihan. Oh, he's a politician now.
There are a ton of weak cards.
Yeah, so it was Houlihan versus Smolka. This was back in 2015, and the fighters on the
Mm,
card was them. Norman
mhm.
Park was the co-main, which just shows you how weak it
Yeah.
was. Behind that was Darren Till versus Nicholas Delby, which now Darren Till on a card seems like a big deal. At that point in time, this was like 3 fights before he fought Cowboy.
Mm,
No one knew him before he
yeah.
fought Cowboy.
Mm.
Neil Seary versus Don Dallas Reyes. Stevie Ray versus Mikkel Labout or something. And then, I don't know, there's Christoph Jotko on there. Tom Breeze, Darren Elkins is pretty low on the card. I mean, that was the worst card ever
Mm.
by a long shot. It
Lack
was,
star power, and at the same time, sounds like a snooze fest.
yeah,
Like when the fights actually happen.
yeah. And well, this at least this card has guys like Marvin Vittori, Carl Robinson, Andre Feely. It's not great, but I'd rather watch this card than that card at that
Yeah.
point in time.
Mm.
Because Jessica I mean, if at the very least, if she gets taken down, she's getting submitted pretty quick, and that makes me happy.
Really? Is she terrible on the ground?
It's not terrible, but this Cynthia Calvillo, when she gets chicks on the ground, she's pretty good. Like if she gets top position, she's pretty
Mm.
fucking good.
What's her wrestling like?
Um, not the best. Improved. She trains with Team Alpha Male, which is full of wrestlers. So even if her wrestling isn't good, her scrambling is. So grabbing a hold of someone and just
Mm.
forcing something to happen where you end up on the ground.
Mhm.
Whereas Jessica I is kind of like a mean potatoes type of striker, where she doesn't really throw many kicks. She throws mainly fists.
That's probably a good thing you guys are a
Boxing is
wrestler.
okay. Yeah, it might be alright. But let's see how Jessica has gone against wrestlers. She hasn't really fought any. When she fought Sarah McMahon, she lost. When she fought Juliana Pena, she lost. When she fought Misha Tate, she lost. So anytime she's gone against a wrestler, she's lost.
Mm.
Or grappler of some kind. And she lost to Betch Kohea.
She lost to Betch. Wow. Wow. Okay, that's next level shit.
But she
That
beat
is next level shit.
Caitlin Chikagian
I don't rate
via
Caitlyn.
split decision. Hey, Kalen Chikagian got revenge the other week on the Shevchenko sister.
Mm. I don't rate
Beat the
Anthony Shevchenko
beat the
either.
shit out of her.
Really?
Oh yeah, did you
No,
not watch it?
no,
Let's
not interested.
quickly look at the scorecards for that fight. It was a beatdown and
Did
a
she
half.
like striking or took her to the ground?
Took her to the ground, and it was 30-25 across the board.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
Holy shit!
like
That's
it
some
was one of those
10-8.
fights where at in the first round, I was like, I could probably stop this. Like nothing different's gonna happen. Like what's her
Mm,
name? Antonina Shevchenko isn't known for a punching power, so she's not gonna change the fight via one strike.
mm.
It's pretty brutal, pretty brutal. Anyways, yeah.
What are
So
your thoughts about this fight? I honestly couldn't care less.
these chicks, none of these chicks have gone 5 rounds. Be interesting to see if they can.
Mm,
Calveo, because she's like a grappler and she's very like pressure heavy. If it goes late, she'll probably gas. Not because she's got a bad gas tank, because her style being very pressure heavy, unless you've got like a crazy, crazy TJ Dillashaw EPO gas tank. I mean, you're gonna gas. Hey, and TJ gassed against Cruz, so there you go.
I just want to go back and say the funniest shit was
What's
when
that?
Cody Cabrahan was saying, basically, you taught us how to use steroids.
Oh my god, Cody.
Uh, I
Oh
loved
man.
it. When Cody was chapped, that was so entertaining.
When he fought Cruz, and he's like, I don't. What is it? I don't pay for. I don't pay for sex or some shit like that. I don't know. I don't know. No,
Uh,
the best comeback of all time was Michael Johnson and Justin Gaethje at the press conference, and Gaethje's like, "Oh, you're not going to be able to handle my pressure. You're not going to be able to handle my pressure. You're going to wilt. You're going to do this. You're going to do that." And Michael Johnson's like, "I eat my shit whole. I don't eat it piece by piece." I was like, "What? Huh? Um, what? what? What does that have to do
that's
with
some next level
anything?
shit.
Why are you eating shit?
Uh,
Maybe eat it whole. Fucking don't nibble on it. It tastes like shit."
oh man.
Or last week, Aljamain Sterling at his post-fight
Hmm.
interview with Joe Rogan,
Hmm.
and he was talking about fighting Peter Yan, and
Yeah.
instead of saying I'm gonna take his back or I'm gonna end up on his back, his terminology was a little bit misused, and he said I'm going to come on his back.
I just love it. I love how he said it, dude.
I was sitting there drunk with like a bunch of guys saying I could out grapple you, listening to this, and no one heard it except for me. I'm like, did he just said he's gonna come on his back? No one's listening.
Meanwhile, your mates are like, bro, I can take you on, bro.
Oh, if we want to go quickly back to that, because I had a little bit of a debate with one of the guys there.
Hmm.
Because you saw when Aljamain Sterling took the back, put the body triangle on, choke.
Hmm. Yeah.
Like they were asking, oh, how painful is that body triangle? And I was like, it's not that painful depending on who puts it on. Like I was saying, if someone like Aljamain Sterling puts it on, he's putting it on to make it feel uncomfortable, and so you can't really
Yeah.
turn out of it. It's like
Mm.
a real like easy way to control someone from the back.
Yeah. You're not gonna tap to it.
No, you're not going to tap to it. But I said the only person that could ever make anyone tap to a body triangle that I've rolled with. This is rolling with like say Adam, someone who's like the
Mm.
best back taker at our gym,
Yeah.
and that I've probably ever rolled against.
Mm.
And his body triangle doesn't feel like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
James Matthews, when he puts a body triangle on, dude,
Yeah.
there's something to be said about a strong guy with big, meaty legs
Like,
that can
yeah.
only just fit that body triangle around you, where you've got no room to move,
Mm.
and it squeezes the life out of you. And the
Yeah.
debate that we had was, I was saying Aljamain Sterling probably weighs maybe 60 to 70 kilos on a heavy day.
Mm. Mm.
James Matthews weighs about 95 kilos on a normal day.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, I was saying James's squeeze would be much more powerful in comparison
Yeah. That's.
to Aljamain Sterling.
Mm.
Because, but they're using it for different things. James uses it pretty much if he can tap you with it, he will. Well, you still there?
Hello.
Hello? Your camera turned
Oh,
off.
really? We just disconnected.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, mate. That was weird. Some internet issues. Right. So you're saying pretty
Yeah,
much James Matthews, if he can
yeah. So I was
tap
just
you out with it.
yeah. All I was saying is that James would have a tighter squeeze
Mm.
because they were asking how tight the squeeze is when a body triangle goes on, and I was just like, it's not that bad. But I said when James puts it
Mm.
on, it's fucking terrifying. And
Yeah.
they're like, oh, but Aljamain Sterling would be better at that position because he's at a higher level. I'm like, well, he's at a higher level in a low weight class, and he's good at everything. Not that one. That one position isn't his bread and like that's not his.
Mm.
He doesn't focus every day on that one position. Whereas someone like
Yeah.
James, he was at that point in time. That was everything. He was putting everything towards taking the back, putting the body triangle on, and squeezing you to death. Where you would literally just put your hands up and be like, "Fucking choke me for God's sake," because you don't
Yeah.
want to tap to a body triangle. But then you would, because
Yeah.
you'd be like, "Well, I want you to tap to the body triangle, and I don't want you to tap to a choke. Let's see if this works." And then you end up tapping. Yeah, so that's all I was trying to say. I was just trying to say that his squeeze would be harder.
Yeah.
Can't remember how we
That's
got to that because I was just asking. I guess they were asking how tight is it, and on someone
mm,
your own size, not that bad.
mm,
It's frustrating because you can't get out of that position.
mm.
Yeah. So your thoughts on that?
Yeah. There's no discussion. You're absolutely right. James is like twice the size of Aljamain Sterling. Of course, his squeeze is going to be bigger, stronger.
And that's what I was trying to say, but it was just constant. Listen, I respect that you've trained, but I just disagree. And I'm like, okay, I respect that you I respect that you respect my opinion, but I'm
Mm,
coming from actual experience, and you're coming from watching on a TV screen while drinking beer.
mm.
So let's
Ah, it's frustrating.
like like if I put that squeeze on, it would not be as pain. I don't know.
Mm,
It's it was just it was one of those frustrating discussions where you're literally breaking down the reasons. You're giving in like a legitimate I don't know detailed discussion about why you're right, and then the person just comes back with no, you're
mm.
wrong, without any general breakdown of why I'm wrong. It's just he's at an elite level, he'd be better. I'm like, he'll probably beat James, yeah. But that one small aspect, that's like saying he'll be able to beat James in an arm wrestle because he's a high level athlete.
Yeah, no. I would be Aljamain Sterling in an arm wrestle. Come on.
I think you should challenge him. Hey, you guys aren't that far apart in weight.
I'm 70.
Yeah, he's probably about 70 when he doesn't cut weight.
Oh, really?
Hmm.
I take that back. He would fuck me up.
Have you seen the
He's
dude?
a much smaller guy. Yeah.
Well, he's probably what 6'8"? No, sorry, 5'8". About 5'8".
Yeah. Yeah. I'm 180.
But he's thick.
I'm
Like he's
181,
he's
182. Yeah.
he's well muscled.
Mm.
He's a legit athlete. Dude, that fight was good. Oh, we're getting off this card. See, there's nothing to really talk about on this card.
Yeah.
Feel bad. All right, let's just quickly. I reckon Cynthia Calvillo because I don't know Jessica. I miss weight. We'll go with that. And she missed
Mm-hmm.
weight by like a quarter of a pound, meaning she was fucking struggling. She had a quarter of a pound
Mm.
to cut.
Mm.
That's nothing.
Jessica, I just don't rate either of them. Honestly, I really don't rate either of them. I I think I'll go with I. I think I, like you said, just keep it standing, pitter patter boxing, win on points. That's that.
I get the size difference is something to take in consideration because Calvillo's coming up, whereas Jessica I came down,
Oh,
and
really?
then medium
Interesting.
flyweight. So Jessica I is going to be bigger. You'd assume, unless
Mm.
Calvillo was cutting some serious fucking weight to make straw weight.
Let's take a look at
Which Calvillo
the stare downs.
missed weight 3 times at straw weight. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7 fights at straw weight. So almost 50% of the time she missed weight.
Mm. Jessica looks a bit bigger. Yeah, Jessica looks a bit bigger. You're right, but not by like a ridiculous amount, but
Mm.
a bit.
All right, so that's our opinion on that fight. It's not really much more to
I
discuss.
love.
Sorry, go
Mm.
on.
No, I love that the UFC is putting fights. I'm really happy.
Mm. Well, nothing's spreading, or at least they're not reporting it if it is spreading.
Hmm.
So they must be
Yeah,
doing all
I
right.
was reading a stat. They say more Americans died from COVID-19 than in World War One.
Really?
Yeah.
Guess we got a bigger population, so the sample size is very like a little bit skewed there.
How many people do you reckon died in America?
In what World War One?
Nah, COVID-19.
Oh, I'm gonna say 400,000.
All right, United States.
No, wait. Oh, just in America. Okay.
No, no, United States, United States.
United.
Yeah.
I'll say 200.
200 people?
Yep.
Mate, that's
No,
completely off.
200,000.
Oh, 200,000.
Yeah, not
Yes.
200 people, dude. That's like Australia's
United
numbers.
States.
No, Australia's numbers have. I don't think we've reached that.
All right. There are 2.1 million deaths. Oh, wait. No, no. Sorry. I'm wrong. Completely wrong. Way off.
You.
116,000 deaths in the United States. There we go.
That makes more sense.
100. Yeah, there's 2.1 million confirmed cases. That makes sense.
Right. So why are we going on this
Dude, Flat
tangent?
Island, Abu Dhabi,
Right. So what's going
and
on?
Dubai.
Sorry, you've jumped around. You're talking about COVID now. You're talking about Fight Island. I'm confused.
Yeah, sorry, it just hit me. It just hit me because of COVID.
Yeah.
There's Flat Island. That I'm really
Yes.
excited for that.
So where's that? Where's that situated?
It's in Abu Dhabi, Dubai.
Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, that's one.
Abu Lubi. Abu Dhabi. Yes, Island. Yeah. No, that's a good fight card so far.
Mm.
Oh, Frankie Edgar and Pedro Munoz. That's gonna be fun. Pedro Munoz, he's got some serious jiu-jitsu, especially his guillotine.
Frankie's gonna get destroyed.
Frankie's
Just too old.
yeah, he's just yeah, it's not. I'm not excited for that.
Mm.
Well, I am. No, I'm very excited for him. Just not excited to see Frank get hurt.
Yeah.
He's my boy. He's my boy. Actually, what's his record looking like lately? Yeah, he's lost two in a row. Jung knocked him out. He beat Cub Swanson in a lackluster fight. Brian Ortega knocked him out. He beat the shit out of Yair. He had a pretty close fight against Jeremy Stevens. Jeremy came on hard in that final round, knocked him down.
Mm.
Jose obviously handled him.
Just
Like,
want to say, as go on,
no, you gone.
as our viewers can notice, we really have absolutely no interest in this card.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, I guess. Soz but not soz. I don't know.
Mm.
Maybe let's quickly go back to it. So after that main event, we got Carl Robinson and Marvin Vittori. They're fighting. They were supposed to fight a couple of weeks ago. Carl Robinson couldn't make weight. Had to go to hospital. Marvin Vittori corrected shits. Confronted him in the lobby of the hotel. Fight got split up. Now they're fighting at this card. Carl Robinson missed weight again, so he's weighing in at 190 pounds, 190.5 pounds. So he's missed weight by 5.5 pounds. So I
Mm.
don't know if he even tried making weight because that's a big miss. So yeah, that's the story behind that fight. I'm gonna go with Marvin Vittori simply because he made weight. So I don't know, and he's a big muscly guy. He can get the fight to the ground. Carl Robinson didn't do so well when Glover took him down. And yeah, that's all I got.
I haven't seen any of them fight, so
You
I'm not.
you would have seen Vittori fight against
Adesanya, yeah.
yes,
I have seen
and
that
he
one.
and he hasn't fought since.
Well, your thoughts
Oh
for
wait, no, he has.
Kevin?
He's fought twice. Shit, I was way off. Oh, okay, so he didn't fight for a year after that, and then he fought July of last year and again in October of last year, where he beat Cesar Ferreira and he beat Andrew Sanchez.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. That's all I have to say
Charles
about that.
Loza, Kevin, thoughts for that one?
Yeah, don't care.
Yeah, just give us a rundown of the card.
Andre Fili, it would be good to see him get a win. I like Andre Fili.
Mm.
He's my boy.
Who's the guy he's fighting?
Don't know. Hopefully that's a good thing. Andre Fili, how old is
That's
he?
the guy who KO'd Duho Choi.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Doesn't have a Wikipedia page.
Mm.
Well, that should be interesting. Andre Fili's got a bit of experience. Should hopefully do alright. I think he beat Sadiq Youssef, so in my mind he's on a 3 fight win streak. Actually, I thought he beat Michael Johnson, so in my mind he's on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fight win streak.
Really? I watched that fight. I bet on Yusuf. I was so sure of him winning.
Yeah, but yeah, and I thought he beat him because he it was close. It was close. Like I'm not sad that Yusuf won because I bet that Yusuf was going to win too. But then when I watched it, I
Mm.
thought that was a bit sketchy. And same with the Michael
Mm.
Johnson fight. I was like, I really want Michael Johnson to win. And then when he won, I was like, I don't know about that one. But
Mm.
then, I think the Dennis Bermudez fight, I thought it was like hands down an easy win for Andre Fili, and it was a split decision.
Mm.
So who knows? Who knows? He's got a bit of a spotty record. Got beat up by Calvin Kattar. I haven't watched that fight. Got beat up by Rodriguez. Man, what's going on with Rodriguez? Like he beat Korean Zombie, and Korean Zombie's closer to a title shot than he is.
I don't rate Rodriguez. He was the zombie was winning that fight
Yeah.
easily before that KO.
Well, when he fought Jeremy Stevens, obviously their second time they fought because the first fight was stopped in 15 seconds from an eye poke.
Mm.
He gassed out pretty hard in that third round,
He
and
was
Jeremy,
so lucky. If that was a
man,
5 rounder, he'd be knocked out.
Jeremy took over. That
Mm.
was that was brutal. But that Chance and Jung fight, oh my god, that was epic. All right, we're going off, of course. All right, that's all we got to say about that card. I'm gonna watch it. I assume you're gonna watch it.
Yeah, watch it together. I'm
Yeah,
down.
like that's all we can really say about the card. There's nothing more to say about it. We're gonna watch it, and if anything exciting happens, we'll mention it.
Mm. Was there anything else you wanted to talk about?
Well, we didn't talk about Nunez and Spencer. That card.
Let's talk about that one.
Yeah, that's. Oh, I clicked on it. Come on. There we go. Dude, now that has some gems on it. Like, people were sulking about the main event for that one, but it's like the whole card is so well rounded. Who cares? Like,
Mm.
then what's wrong with Amanda Nunes? Like, potentially the greatest female champion of all time. Main eventing a
Finding a
card.
can. Come
Yeah,
on,
fighting camp.
fighting
Fighting.
that third
But,
can.
like, there's really no one else for her to fight. She's beat everyone else.
Mate,
Beat
there's like
retired.
2 people in that division.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm talking about even if she went down to bantamweight, who would she fight?
That's a good question.
She's beat all the contenders.
Mm.
There's a couple coming up, but they're not ready to fight her yet.
Mhm.
Did you see Gilbert Burns' younger brother, Herbert Burns? Got a sexy rear naked against Evan Dunham. It
Nice. No,
it
no, I
was
didn't.
really nice the way he did it too. Like he grabbed a like he took the guy's back, put a body triangle on, and then forced him to roll him over, so that as Evan Dunham rolled over, that gave him the like the opening to switch arms and put the choke on because he was defending this arm over the neck.
Hmm.
So obviously, if he's defending like that, because his arm's here, there's an opening there.
Hmm.
So then, as he did that, he turned him over so that because obviously, if someone's got your back in a body triangle, you don't want to be face down. It's fucking
Yeah.
it's horrible. So he span him. So the second that he would spin over, he would loosen up on defending the hands and try and continue the spin so he'd land on his back again. So as he did
Hmm.
that, he snuck the hand in, and when he landed on his back, he was in the choke.
Oh, that's nice.
It was
That's lit.
it was so sexy. It was so sexy. Maybe after we finish the podcast, I'll share screen and I'll put it
Yeah,
on.
that'd be good.
It's beautiful. Then we Devin Clark and Alonzo Menifield. That was just one big beefcake. Gas like not having the gas tank to go 3 rounds. Have you seen Alonzo Menifield?
Oh yeah, I saw that. Jesus Christ, that guy's on so much roids.
Dude,
Holy shit.
he's like yours and Jeffrey's favorite fighter.
Nah, his physique isn't good. His physique isn't good. He does not look aesthetic.
Okay,
Like
fair
Yoel
enough.
Romero, Uberim. You look at that, you're like, I like that body. A very sexy body. You look at that guy, it's like, mate, you have so much steroids on you that you have tits.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, so now I know your taste in men. Oh,
Hmm.
dude, Alex Perez and Juicy Formiga leg
That was
kicks.
good.
That was
Yeah,
brutal, man. Formiga's dropped
the
off hard,
two.
but dude, those leg kicks. Ouch. Like,
Mm.
how often do you see a top level guy just gonna quit from leg kicks?
Mm.
That was so good.
Not often, not often, but that was good.
Not many, if any.
Mm. That was good. That was a good fight to
Um,
watch.
moving up the card, Cody Stamann against Brian Kelleher. That was a bit of a heartwarming story because Cody Stamann lost his brother a week prior.
Mm.
Stayed in camp though, so he could get the fight. Won the fight, all 3 rounds. I was like, yeah, good on you, buddy. It's nice to hear.
Yeah,
But I
just
like
saw
Brian
him.
Kelleher. I didn't know the story of Cody before the end of the fight, and then I really wanted Brian to win. And then I heard the story. I'm like, oh, okay, no, good on you, Cody. Good
Mm.
work.
Yeah, brother's dead. That's a big one.
Yeah,
Like I like you can see the emotion. Good on him.
no, that was good. Good performance. What type of win streak is Cody on? Where would he be in terms of his next fight? He had a
Just
draw
wanted
against Song Yadong. He beat Perez, lost to Aljamain Sterling, beat Caraway. See, I wanted Garbrandt to fight this Cody
mm,
as like a warm up fight, like
mm,
against a top level guy or a decent guy, but a beatable guy.
yeah,
So, so maybe for his next fight he can get this. Oh wait, oh no,
maybe.
this was at featherweight, but they are bantamweights.
Mm.
So you're about to say something a couple of times.
Chase Hooper gives me hope.
Oh my god.
I watched Chase Hooper fight, and I'm like, I can beat that guy. I watched that fight, and I'm like, I could legit just fight cans, go 9-0, make it to the UFC.
Why don't you?
That is how it is.
They need Aussie fighters. Actually, what would you be classified as?
I'm Aussie. I'm Aussie. Hey, represent me, Australian. Bang.
Australia. Okay, fair enough.
Boy citizen.
Wait, so were you born here in Australia? Or were you born?
Now I was born in Baghdad.
You were born in Baghdad. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But you're an Australian citizen, so you'd represent Australia.
Yes.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Um, yeah, dude. Challenge Chase Hooper. Dude, if he took you down though, you're having a tough day.
Mate, come on. My background, I'm a jiu-jitsu guy. Really. I'm really a jiu-jitsu guy.
Yeah, you are. But
Not
like,
nowhere good as Chase Hooper, right? But you can see what Alex did, Luis Rito. Legit. He's coming into you, disengage, jab, jab, win the fight. Fucking give me Chase Hooper. I would take that fight. He's not gonna knock me out. He's gonna choke me. I tap. End of story. Give me Chase Hooper. Chase Hooper, if you're there, I challenge you.
oh boy, that's what I'm naming this video now. I'm gonna send it to Chase Hooper's Instagram or his Twitter page.
Oh man. Next thing you know, I'm the guy in your story. You know the drunk guy in your story that you.
Yes. Oh my god. Oh my
Oh
god. Yeah,
god.
it's like I could beat you. You hurt my neck. Oh my god. That's hilarious. Yeah, that was a good fight. That was good. I was happy to see Alex Caceres win, but man, every time you have like an up and comer
Mm-hmm.
and they've kind of given themselves like a bit of a name,
Yeah.
they immediately fucking skyrocket them like as fast as they possibly can. It's like let's put you against
Man, Ascaris is not the best competition.
No, he's far from the best competition, but he's at that point where if you're not at a mid-pack level, because there
Hmm.
are lower pack levels in the UFC, and there is a place for those guys. They're
Hmm.
developmental, but they're meant to fight each other so that they can get to that next position.
Hmm.
And Chase Hooper didn't show that he was ready for that next uh, next spot, but they just put him there. Like
Yeah.
Alex Caceres is a guy who has fought the top level of his division.
Yeah, he's fought. Yeah, here. Yeah, here. That's true. That was a split decision too, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was close. And he fought Faber when Faber was on a run.
Mm.
Who else did he fought? Caceres, he's not the best, but he's far, far from the worst.
Hmm.
So I'm looking at his record as well. Beat Colas Escovedo. Let me see a page. He beat Sergio Pettis. Choked him.
That's pretty good. I
Mm,
rate Sergio.
mm. That was on his run where he should have been on a 5-5 win streak, but they took away one of his wins because he popped from marijuana.
Mm.
And he fought that Francisco Rivera, Cole Miller, Jason Knight, Yair. He unfortunately got choked by Kron.
Yeah.
He's not a bad guy. He's never gonna beat the top level guys, but he's like you need to beat him to get to that next level of the mid pack.
Yeah, I agree with
And
that.
and Chase never beat he beat one guy on that lower level in his last fight,
Mm.
and they immediately push him up. They give him time, like exactly what they're doing with Shane O'Malley. They're pushing Shane O'Malley at the perfect pace. Although he did have 2 years off, that wasn't a good pace because he popped for whatever the shit he popped for.
Hmm.
It's probably marijuana or something. What's it
Shane
say?
O'Malley is one of those unassuming guys. Like you look at him, skinny guy, you're like, I could probably get that.
Yeah, but he's so confident that you'd be like, maybe not.
Mm.
Then Shane O'Malley's one of those guys. He's only had 3 fights in the UFC.
Oh, knockouts, yeah. Oh wait, no, no, no. There was that decision.
Yeah, one decision, or 2 decisions. He had a decision in Dana White's. No, oh no, no. Yeah, 2 decisions in the UFC. One of them was in that Ultimate Fighter finals.
Mm.
But yeah. Okay, so we're already onto that Shane O'Malley. So yeah, Shane O'Malley and fucking Eddie Wineland, dude, that was a slick knockout. That was so clean. That
Mm.
was so
That
clean.
was a good knockout.
Like Eddie Wineland, like he finally copped it for never putting his hands up. He made it this far in his career. Yeah, oh, he's been knocked out once previous, but he made it
Mm.
pretty far without having to put his hands up.
Hmm. He was so much smaller than him, though. Holy cow! I was looking at him like, this is a two-size difference. Like it
Yeah,
looks like two weight classes.
yeah, it was kind of weird. Yeah, he was like heaps bigger than him. Like Eddie Wineland, I never saw as a small guy because when Faber fought him, he looked bigger than Faber, or at least taller. Faber's just more filled out.
Mm.
But yeah, that was dude. This card was like a showcase for the bantamweights.
Mm.
It was like here's a whole bunch of bantamweights. If you don't like bantamweight, you're going to like it soon. But yeah, that was
No, I agree though.
Eddie Wineland put on a decent show for like the first like minute or so of the fight. He was really pressuring O'Malley, and it took O'Malley a while
Mm.
to find the chin. But dude, when he found it,
Hmm.
oh Jesus, it's like Eddie Wineland's mo like flickered in the air as he fell. It was sad to see. Do you have anything more to say on that fight?
No, I'm just interested to see O'Malley's development.
Hmm. Who do you reckon he fights next? Maybe give him someone. No, maybe a Cody. Maybe give him like a Brian Kelleher.
Yeah, well, I think he wins that fight.
Hmm. Brian Kelleher's a
I
well-rounded
think.
guy. He can wrestle, he can strike, he can do all that stuff. So it'd be
Mm,
it's a winnable fight. It's a manageable fight, but it's also a fight that's going to test him.
mm.
That's what you want. You want someone who's going to be able to pressure him the same way that you would assume that Wineland was going to be able to do, but unfortunately, he wasn't.
Yeah, I think he wins that fight easy. No issues with that.
I like it. And now for the
Thoughts,
sorry,
mhm.
go.
Thoughts on Neil Magny versus Anthony? I know you like Neil.
I like Neil and I like Rocco. I like them both, but
Oh,
I knew this fight was going to be exactly what it was. A close fight
mm,
with not a great deal of action, and there wasn't going to be a finish unless
mm,
like someone slipped on a banana peel and kind of got caught with something that they don't normally get caught with. But I didn't expect Rocco to gas out as hard as he did in the third round. That I wasn't expecting. But then again, I mean, how hard can these guys train during a pandemic? So
mm.
a lot of these guys are probably just taking fights because they want the money. But a weird thing about this fight is that I thought Rocco was winning the first two rounds. But keep in mind, I was
Gotcha.
intoxicated. But like as I was watching, I thought Rocco landed more strikes, like and more like I thought he was throwing and landing more often. But then um, that little fight metric
That's
calculator thing stats came up, and it was like so far in Neil's favor. I was like, what?
mm,
Am I watching a different fight? What's going on? So I don't know if I was just too drunk at that point in time, or
mm,
if other people had the same experience watching that fight. But yeah, I thought Rocco was winning the first two rounds. I thought Neil came on hard in the last. But it was 30-27 by two judges for Neil and 29-28 for another 4-0. All three judges gave to Neil.
mhm.
But yeah, that was my thoughts on that fight. What about yours?
In all honesty, I watched it. I thought Neil just dominated. I thought
Fair enough.
he just did what he had to do.
Hmm.
He just won on points.
That just
Who
shows
really
how.
impressed me though is
Oh, here we go.
Sterling.
Dude,
Sterling impressed me.
I like. Don't get me wrong. I rate Corey Sandhagen,
Hmm.
but I thought his submission ability was a little bit over exaggerated.
Mm.
And I set up like I try to say to anyone that would listen that Aljamain would fuck him up if it went to the ground. Like it was not going to be a very heavily contested fight if the fight went to the ground. Because if you remember Corey Sandhagen, his breakout fight was against Yuri Alcantara,
Hmm.
where he got taken down and Yuri Alcantara put a beat down on him. Put a beat down, almost submitted him with an armbar. And the whole big thing was, oh my god, he's in an armbar and he's not tapping. Like his arm was fully extended, like it was about to break. It
Oh
was
jeez.
it was nasty to watch. And he got out of it, got put in a triangle, got out of the triangle, put another armbar, got out of it, and it was like brutal. And then Alcantara ended up gassing out, and that's how we beat him. But
Mm.
Alcantara, if you put him and Sterling against each other, Sterling's going to beat that dude up on the ground.
Yeah.
And Corey just skimmed by against that same guy. So I didn't understand why it was seen as close as it was. I figured Sterling was going to be able to outpoint him on the feet
Hmm.
or dominate him on the ground.
Mm.
And
That's fair. You're right.
Corey's one of those guys that he's kind of being pushed a little bit too fast as well.
Mm.
He needs a bit of a step down in competition. Even if you give him Cody Stamen
Mm.
for his next fight, and then maybe he can fight the winner of Brian Kelleher and Sean O'Malley in his fight after that, as opposed to putting him like in his next fight, having him fight like he beat Rafael Asuncion, which is like a legit win, but I don't know. I just thought like have, let him take a step back because how many fights has he had? Let me have a look. I don't think he's even fought that many times in UFC. I guess he has. He's had one, two, three, four, five. He's had 6 fights, and his Yuri Alcantara fight was his second fight. And since then, he's beat Mario Batista, John Lineker, and Rafael Sunsao. I mean, if you beat a Sunsao, what the fuck am I talking about? You're legit.
Yeah.
But I don't know. He outpointed him. It wasn't like, oh wait, I think didn't a Sunsao take him down at one point and control his back for a decent amount of time.
May have. On honesty, it was a boring fight.
Ah, fair enough. Either way, I think I made my point about my opinion on that. But yeah,
Mm.
dude, Sterling, dude, dude.
Speaking, well, speaking of beating Sensao,
Well, let's stay on this fight because one thing
okay.
about Sterling that I did like
Mhm.
about this fight, because my biggest issue with him in the past has been that he has this phenomenal submission ability, but he doesn't have the wrestling to back it up.
Mhm.
He got the fight to the ground. He forced it. And he was saying in interviews previous to this fight that the reason he hasn't been able to wrestle was because he's had a messed up shoulder.
Mhm.
So he can't really wrestle as much. So he's had to go with like a point striking style, and if the fight goes to the ground, well, it's a wrap. But in this fight, he pressured hard and just got the fight down. I can't even remember how he got the fight down. As I said, intoxicated.
Mhm.
But dude, yeah. Anyways,
Good on
that's
him.
something I want to chuck in there. Anyways, lead us into the next one.
As we were saying, speaking of beating Rafael Assunção, holy cow, that was brutal from Cody.
Dude, from the opening strike, Cody landed the hardest leg kick I've ever seen him, of all people, land, and it slowed a Sunset down like that. Just
Mm.
immediately as Sunset stopped moving.
Man, watching that knockout from bantamweight, holy cow, Assunção was gone.
Mm,
That was so brutal. You watch that, he puts all his weight into it. Bam, bam. It was so bad. It was so bad. My God, that was pretty. Take it away.
yeah, no, that was an interesting fight because like when you're watching Cody Garbrandt fight these days, like oh my god, he's gonna get knocked out. Just a matter of time as to when. Like he comes out looking good, he'll rock TJ, like put TJ on his ass, and then come out in the next round too cocky, and then stand there for three right hands in a row,
Mm,
and then he'll fight TJ again and just show absolutely nothing, and then he'll come out, fight Munoz, fight really well at the start of the fight, and then get caught in a brawl and get knocked out against the grappler, and it's like, what the fuck is happening? This was the champion that outdid Cruz with footwork, and
mm,
he's just not showing that. And he comes out for this fight, opens up with a huge leg kick, and immediately you see that his movement and a Sunsal's movement, Sunsal looked like he was stuck in mud. He looked so slow.
mm,
Once again, I haven't watched this fight since I first watched it, and I was intoxicated. That was a week ago.
mm,
But he looked so slow. He looked so slow, and
mm.
Cody just looked so quick. It was crazy to watch. And that knockout, man, oh my god! And it was like he just, as you said, he just winds it up and just slams him. You know what it reminded me of? It
Mm.
reminded me of
What do you remind you of?
Rashad Evans knocking out Chuck Liddell, where Chuck was pushing him against the cage, and then Rashad just unleashes this
Yes.
crazy overhand right that just clips the chin, and they
Mm,
showed like a from the rear view, and you can see Chuck's neck kind of like crumple, like it's a weird. It's not just his neck going like that, like you see it.
mm,
It's like full on whiplash. It's brutal, and the way he drops, well, he doesn't just drop on his back, but he drops on his side and then rolls over, so face down. But his legs are facing up, but his face is facing down.
yep.
Like that's how a Sunsale fell. And when
Mm,
they fall like that, it's like, oh my god! And it was right at the
yep.
buzzer, and it's just, oh, like watching with the guys at a mate's place. His missus got home just at the like she walks through the door just as that was happening, and we're just screaming, ah, and she's like, ah, you're like, ah, just I know. I thought I'd throw that
Mm.
in there because it's just hilarious.
That is
But
actually
that
pretty
was
funny.
that was crazy because you didn't expect it to happen right at the buzzer.
Mm,
Like he full on lured him in. He's just moving his head like, "Come on, hit me, hit me, hit me, hit me." And Sunset was like hesitant, like, "Okay, I'll throw," and then fucking bam. That turned me on. I'm not gonna lie. Not gonna lie.
I loved it. I loved it. Good old Cody. Looking forward to seeing what he does next.
Yeah, yeah. Who do you reckon you should fight next? Who's in the bantamweight rankings?
That's a good question. That's a good question. It's hard one. It's hard one. He can fight Stamen if Stamen's the title shot.
Well,
I see Cody easily winning that.
that's the
What are
fight
your
that I wanted
thoughts?
him to have originally, a fight against Stamen. I
Mm.
thought that was like a logical fight for him. Like I don't want to see him fighting against a guy like Marlon Moraes at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to like Aljamain Sterling, maybe, because it
Mm-hmm.
kind of Aljamain might be able to point strike him.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not. Peter
While
Yan,
you're
definitely
talking
not.
about that, just excuse me. I really need to use the toilet. I'll be back.
All right, Corey Sandhagen, definitely not. Jesse Aldo already in a fight. Pedro Munoz already knocked him out. Shit, there's not many options for him. Cody Stamen, yeah, Cody Stamen's it's a logical step for him. Or Rob Font, maybe not. But yeah, Cody Stamen I think is probably a logical next step for good old Cody Garbrandt. A sunset, Jesus. Man, he's taking a drop. Maybe, I think he's already fought Pedro Munoz. Let's have a squiz. See, fight Pedro. Yeah, he's fought Pedro Munoz, so that was a while ago. Fuck, he always he's giving out a few rematches. No need to give out another rematch. I guess give him Rob Font. Or is he... Fuck, he's fought everyone, hasn't he? Has he fought Rob Font? Fuck, he's already fought Rob Font too. Who the fuck has he not fought? Jesus Christ.
I'm back.
I'm
All
like,
right. What did I miss?
I'm trying to find who a Sun Sao should fight next. But a Sun Sao's already fought everyone.
Mm.
Like, he's already fought Marlon Moraes. He's already fought Aljamain Sterling. He's already fought Corey Stamen. He's fought Cody Garbrandt. He's fought Pedro Munoz. He's fought Rob Font. He's fought so many people in the top 15.
Mm.
I don't know, maybe put him against
The
Jimmy
man needs
Rivera.
time off. Time off. New blood comes in, and then division sorts itself out, and he'll jump back in.
Yeah, maybe. And he's getting up there in age at 37. It might be best just maybe don't take a fight. Maybe retire.
Mm.
I mean, man, he went on a killing streak though, and he never got that title shot. That's heartbreaking. It really is. Oh
Mm.
well, it is what it is. Anyways, Cody against Cody seems like the logical next step
Mm-hmm.
because you don't want to put Cody against Corey because you don't want to see Corey get another loss. You don't want to see Cody get another loss. It just doesn't make sense for either business wise and also contender wise. You don't want to see either guy get another loss.
Mm.
Aldo's in a fight. Peter Yan's in a fight. Sterling's too high up. Marlon Moraes too high up. Pedro Munoz he's already lost to. Asunciao he's already knocked out. So either a Jimmy Rivera or a Cody Stamen. But I think Jimmy Rivera's coming off a loss. So Cody Stamen coming off a win makes sense. What do you think?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
No, I think it makes sense. I agree. The two Codys got it.
Yeah. They might even put him up against Song Yadong. Probably not.
Hmm. Nah, Sonya Donald's up and coming. Nunes versus Felicia Can Spencer. She has hot, to be fair. She has hot.
Yeah, but as we've said in that Brian Ortega and Max Holloway fight, heart's another way of saying lack of skill.
Hmm.
So if you have heart,
That is
it's
true.
because you can't win. That I don't
Hmm.
know. What a weird thing about this type of fight is that people were saying the fight should have been stopped in like the fourth, fifth round and stuff like that, but there wasn't a moment where she was being beat on that bad that warranted a stoppage, especially from the
It was
ref.
just, yeah, it was just she was getting tagged. That's all it is.
She
And
got
her striking is garbage.
She got
She
outclassed.
could do nothing.
Yeah, she couldn't do anything. She just took a beating. But it's one of those things where there wasn't a moment because no, especially in MMA, in boxing, I guess they do this a lot where if someone's getting beat up and it doesn't look like there's a way for them to come back, the corner will be like, fight another day. Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
They'll throw in the towel because I guess there's a lot of older people in boxing, so they've already seen a lot of these other fighters cop brain damage. They realize winning this, losing a decision in this fight isn't worth it. Just
yeah,
take the TKO loss.
mm,
And I don't know, maybe that could be adopted a little bit more in MMA because in MMA, unless there's a big moment that justifies a stoppage, then
mm.
everyone
Referees don't
goes.
stop it.
Sorry.
Referees don't stop it.
No, referees, and neither does the corner. I mean, you saw against Dominic Cruz and Henry Cejudo.
Mm,
Cruz cracked the shits over the stoppage, but the dude copped a huge knee where he collapsed, and then when he went to get back up, copped another right hand where he collapsed again, and as he was trying to get up, was copping another 10 punches. That was a
mm,
justified stoppage. You could say it was a little bit early. You could say whatever you want, but it was very justified. But there wasn't any moment like that in this Amanda Nunes and Felicia Spencer fight.
yeah.
It was being outclassed, but there was no moment to really stop it unless you stopped it out of pity.
Mm,
But imagine being a fighter and
agreed.
the fight being stopped out of pity. You'd be pretty pissed off.
Mm,
No, I don't know. That's my I don't know. That's my opinion. Your thoughts on that?
mm. No, I completely agree. I completely agree. I think corners need to be more selfless and think for their fighter and just call it.
Yeah, yeah. That doesn't happen as we saw with Glover Teixeira and Anthony Smith.
Yeah, that was bad. That was such a bad beatdown.
Dude,
Holy cow.
that
Glover
was
Teixeira telling go on.
yeah. I think what you're about to say was what I was thinking, where Glover Teixeira apologized to Anthony
Mm,
Smith during the fight because he had to put this beat down on a guy that wasn't fighting back.
yeah.
Like that's the type of see this Felicia Spencer fight was nowhere near that. Felicia was always moving, always looking
Mm,
for a way to still win the fight, despite the fact that it was very noticeable that she didn't have a way to win the fight.
mm,
Anthony Smith wasn't looking for a way to win the fight, he was looking for a way to survive.
mm.
And that was, oh man, especially when you're handing the ref your tooth.
Oh, I don't want to talk about that anymore. That's
And
just
you
heartbreaking.
say to your corner, I'm losing my teeth. Not, I've lost a tooth. I'm losing my teeth. Meaning, there's more to come. Dude, like, Anthony Smith cracked the shits about everyone saying that fight should have been stopped and blah, 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 blah. But it's a spectator sport. We got to enjoy what we're watching. We didn't want to watch a potential fucking massacre. We
Yeah,
didn't want to
that
watch.
was not enjoyable to watch.
No, that was horrible. It's like watching
Mm,
um Junior Dos Santos versus Cain Velasquez again. Especially that third fight. I don't want to
mm,
watch that. That's painful to watch. Just watch
mm,
Junior Dos Santos lose years off his career, which we've noticed now he's not getting back.
mm.
Yeah. So, anyways, in regards to this fight, there wasn't a moment to stop it. It was just a beatdown. There was no.
Yeah,
You're stopping it out of sympathy, not out of like I don't. Yeah, she got beat up, but
yeah.
it's a fight. There's nothing to really say. Okay, we really need to stop this. She's copying all these crazy concussions. I don't think she even got dropped.
Mm.
Did Felicia get dropped at all in that fight? I thought she got
No,
taken down
no.
a lot, but I don't think she got dropped with anything. So
It was just that it wasn't really a fight. That's what it is.
yeah,
Felicia had nothing to offer.
no, it wasn't competitive, and it wasn't competitive from the start.
Yeah.
But at least Felicia was looking for a way to win the whole fight.
Mm.
So if the fight is still like looking for a way to win, I don't think that calls for a stoppage. If the fighter's looking for a way
Move.
to survive, then it's time to stop it.
Mm,
Like if that's the only option they have left. Does that make
mm.
sense?
Yeah, no, absolutely. That makes sense. Something that I wanted your opinion about is fighter pay and Conor retiring. And what's so interesting about what's happening now is you have John, George, Connor, Cejudo, all saying the same thing. We want to be paid more.
So Hudo's doing on a little quieter front. He just retired.
Yeah.
He's mentioned pay a little bit, but only in terms of, oh, we all have a price. If they want me to come back, they know how much I want.
Mm,
But that's it. He's just
mm.
straight up retired. He's done it in a very classy way.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Retired on top, good on him. But if he was being paid more, he wouldn't have retired.
Yeah, but he also doesn't want to just stay around for more money and fight Aljamain Sterling. He wants to stay around for more money and fight for legacy and go up a weight class.
Mm,
Meaning he would have to give up his title, meaning he wouldn't be making championship money anymore. So that's not in his contract. That's kind of how the contract is structured. If you're on a
mm.
championship contract, you make more money.
Yep.
But if you go up a weight class, you're
So,
giving up a title.
what are your thoughts?
Um, I don't know. It doesn't seem like they get paid a lot in terms of the top guys. Conor McGregor's the only one that really gets paid like a lot, like
Mm,
in the like multiple millions. But other
mm,
guys, like John Jones, only gets a flat rate of 500K per fight, meaning he doesn't get a win bonus if he doesn't get any more if he wins. He doesn't get any less if he loses. That's always good. But in terms of like the greatest light heavyweight of all time, who's beat all the previous heavyweights that came before him, apart from say Tito Ortiz and Tito
mm.
Ortiz Chocolate, like that era.
Yeah.
But he even beat Vitor Belfort, like a juice to the gills Vitor Belfort,
Mm,
and he beat Rashad Evans, Rampage, Shogun, Lyoto, and beat them in dramatic fashion. Man, that dude needs to get paid. Like he needs to get paid big.
mm,
You got Masvidal saying he's going to get paid half of what he got for his previous fight. Masvidal, I support what he's trying to do, but he doesn't really have the grounds. He's not on a championship contract. I mean, it's hard because like these guys, they sign these contracts and they kind of sign them. I guess you would say under duress because like they put you on multiple fights per con. So as soon as you resign, it's like we will give you this much money for this next fight if you sign a 7 fight deal. Meaning you'll get a lot of money for this one fight, but your next 7 fights you won't get as much money for those individual fights unless there's
mm,
a reason to do so. Say if you win a championship.
mhm.
So, and that's kind of what Nate was struggling with originally, because he was on I think 20 and 20, which if you think of 20 and 20 for Nate Diaz, dude, that's a bargain for the UFC.
Mm.
But that was a new deal that he signed, like an 8 fight deal on 20 to show, 20 to win.
Holy cow.
And then that's why he didn't want to fight because Gil Melendez was on a contract where he was getting say 150 to show and 100 to win. And he's like, "What?
Mm.
I'm a bigger like I'm just as much of a star as Gilbert. Why don't I get similar money?" So that's why he sat out for a bit. But that's kind of the nature of the contract. Unless you're fighting a guy like Conor McGregor and you're headlining the card and you're getting a percentage of the pay-per-views, there's not really. I mean, I think with the pay, I don't think it comes down to all these guys sitting out. I think they need better managers because the managers
Mm.
are the ones that they fight for the contracts. So
Mm.
the manager should be like, don't sign a 7 fight deal. Sign 2 fight deals.
I agree
Leave
with that.
some wiggle room. 7 fights. That's a lot of fights. That's like another like two,
Mm.
3, 4, even 4 years.
Mm.
So in terms of the fighter pay, I reckon it comes down more to the contract that they're signing. Like all these like multiple fight deals, kind of fucks them up when they try and renegotiate because
Mm.
they can't really
I think.
renegotiate until they fought out their contract, and then they can go out
Mm.
and be like, hey Bellator, do you want some of this? But then there's nowhere to really
Mm.
there's no other organizations that really have deep enough pockets to match the UFC.
Yes, that's 100% true. So, two things you mentioned that I completely agree with. One, shorten the deals. Like, the UFC must be setting it up in such a way so that they get, 10-fight deals, 7-fight deals, like you're saying. Because 7-fight deal for John or, George, that's their prime. That's how much? 4 years fights?
Yeah.
4 or 5 years? That's their prime. The second thing is, where else can they go? Like you mentioned, they go to Bellator, but can Bellator pay them as much as the UFC? And the whole point is, I want more money than what I'm getting now. Can Bellator give them that?
Probably not. You know who?
Yeah, so
I have a. Well, actually, no.
go on.
Continue, and then I want to ask a question to you.
So what can they do? I completely agree with you. Get better management. Get people to represent you to fight for your contracts. Completely agree with it. But what else can you do? Take it away. You were going to ask a question?
I was going to ask you a question because you're talking about one's finances. Do they have deep enough pockets to pay? Because they paid Eddie. Fuck, I was going to say
That's a
Eddie
lot of money.
Guerrero. Fuck, what's his name? He's
Alvarez.
Alvarez. Shit, I got Eddie
Yeah.
Guerrero in my head. Talking about wrestling. Yeah, they managed to pay Eddie Alvarez enough to pull him away from the UFC. They pay enough to Demetrius Johnson to keep him happy. They paid enough
Yeah.
to Sage Northcutt to get him to leave the UFC as well.
Mm,
And Sage
I
Northcutt was on a
agree.
pretty decent contract for what he had done.
I agree. I completely do. I think this is what I think. With ONE FC, you look at the roster. They're very heavily based on the lighter weight classes. Their heavyweight is garbage. Their light heavyweight is garbage. Their middleweight is garbage. Welterweight and
No.
below. Go on.
I was going to say no. Are you saying Brandon Vera isn't the best heavyweight on the planet?
Brandon Vera just lost to their welterweight champion.
They're welterweight champion.
Yes. Their middleweight. No, sorry. He lost to their middleweight champion.
Yeah, yeah, middleweight and light
Yeah,
heavyweight
their middleweight
champion.
champion. Yes, yes. He lost to that champion. Who Uriah Hall beat.
Oh wow, okay. That would have been like 10 years ago
Yeah, a while ago, yes.
when he was still a pup.
So, would ONE FC be interested in paying John Jones millions of dollars? Not really. They don't have a deep enough roster in their light heavyweight division. The people, I think, don't really give a shit about John Jones in the bloody Philippines. So, no, I don't think ONE FC is interested in John Jones. I don't think ONE FC is interested in paying George Masvidal millions of dollars where he'll be unknown in Malaysia. That's what I think. So, yeah, where else can they go? Do they go to Bellator? Bellator's not going to pay them that much money. The UFC effectively has a monopoly in the sense that if you're a fighter, let's say, hey, Kris, you decide to start your amateur circuit here in Australia. You're going to be Kris Big Daddy Bello. Your nickname is Big Daddy because you're going to give it to them.
Okay.
So you start a fight here in the regional scene. You fight for, AFC. You win 10 fights. What's next? You want to get paid more. Who's going to pay you more money? Where can you make the most money you can?
You waiting for me to
Take it
answer?
away. That's it.
Ah.
Yeah, that's.
But well, whatever's available. You'd assume Bellator maybe, UFC.
All right. You go to Bellator. You win 10 fights in Bellator. You're now their welterweight champion. Yeah.
Be a small welterweight.
You're now the lightweight champion. You're now the lightweight champion. You want to get paid more. Where do you want to go? Where? Who can pay you more? Where can you go?
Oh yeah, you assume the UFC would pay you more.
Exactly. You go to the UFC, you beat everyone. Connor comes, you slap him across his head. Khabib comes, you're like, Jiu-Jitsu, choke him out, you win. You want to get paid more. You're the greatest light heavyweight of all time. Where do you go?
To fight scrubs in lightweight in the UFC for less money.
But where else can you go? You can't do anything else. The UFC is where you go if you want to get paid.
Mm.
They have the deepest pockets. So
So
therefore, there is no competition. Therefore, there's no one else who can pay you more. When you hit the highest levels, there's no one else that can pay you more. It's not like you have football teams with that everyone has money. It's not like that. So what that enables the UFC to do. Let's say you're a business owner, you own the UFC, right? A fighter comes to you telling you, "I want to be paid $10 million because I bring you $100 million." Okay.
mhm.
Now, Bellator doesn't have a pay-per-view system. All that money is coming from the pay-per-view. So he asks you for $10 million. You know Bellator can only afford to pay him $1 million, whereas you're paying him $2 million. What do you do?
You pay him what, 1 million, because that's the most he's going to get outside of the UFC.
Exactly. You're just going to go, no, I'm not going to pay you $10 million.
Mm.
That's it.
Yeah.
Go somewhere else. So the UFC has a monopoly.
Uh, there is a good video on this.
Mm-hmm.
That once again, if you're into all this type of stuff, look up Luke Thomas. He's got a video where there's he brings a guy on who breaks down the entire pay structure of
Mm-hmm.
the UFC. I'll see if I can quickly find it and I'll send it to you.
I hope what I said makes sense.
No, it makes complete sense. It does make complete sense. But he was calling it a monopsony instead of a monopoly.
What does that even mean?
They explain it. I'm just gonna see if I can find it. Oh, this is the one that was put in the intro.
Monopsony, in which there's one single buyer. There you go. That's pretty much exactly what. Yeah. So we're in agreement. It's a monopsony, which means there's one single buyer.
Yeah. Alright, I've just sent it to you.
Thank you. Mm.
But yeah, you can watch that later on. But that breaks it down.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit. Nope.
Thoughts on Connor retiring? Bullshit.
Don't
I
care.
think everyone's calling it.
Don't care.
Yeah.
Like, I really don't care. Like, only time I care about Conor McGregor is when he's fighting. I don't care about his personal
Mm.
life. I don't care if he's not fighting. I don't care because he's, as I said, I only care about him when he is fighting.
Mm-hmm.
When he is, I'm excited as fuck. When he's
Yeah.
not, go do whatever you want to do. He's a dad now. He's got plenty of money. I'm sure he wants to go look after his kid. Go do that. So yeah, don't really care. I, he's made these types of. If it was the first time, I'd maybe be like, oh shit, what's going on? But he's done this multiple times, so don't care.
Yeah, I agree.
More concerned about John Jones saying that he's retiring, because if he actually vacates his
Yes.
title, I mean,
I reckon he should. He's going to lose soon. in my eyes, he's lost the last two fights.
Yeah, and I think he realizes that he's coming to the end, which is why he
Mm.
kind of wants to make as much money as he can, as fast as he can.
Hmm.
Like, he doesn't really have the same offensive ability that he used to. Like back in the day, if he wanted to take someone down, homeboys were going down. There's no stopping it.
Hmm.
But now, like you saw him against Reyes, I think he scored takedowns in the final 2 rounds. But I don't think they like if they were in a wrestling match, they wouldn't even count as a takedown.
Mm.
Like Reyes went down, hit his ass, and got immediately back up. So the takedowns weren't very effective. So, but back in his prime, if he wanted to take a motherfucker down, that motherfucker was being taken down, and probably with some
Mm.
kind of trip or throw. But now he's shooting for double legs and stuff, which is weird because you would assume a trip or a throw is something that you can do later in your career, and a double leg takedown is something that requires explosion, so you can't really do later in your career, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm more concerned about that mainly because light heavyweight doesn't have a great deal going on, and whoever wins that vacant title, they,
Mm.
without getting that win over John Jones, does anyone care? That that division will probably die. Not die.
Well, we'll move on.
It'll move on, but it'll take a while. It'll be like lightweight. Lightweight took 3-4 years to get back on track after Conor left it,
Mm.
and welterweight was lucky that they had Robbie Lawler.
Mm.
Like when
I
Johnny
loved
Hendricks,
Robbie Lawler.
yeah, when Johnny Hendricks won the title, everyone's like, oh yeah, I guess he deserved it. He he beat GSP, even if Peter
Yeah, he
disagrees.
did.
But no one really cared about Johnny Hendricks winning the title. And then when Robbie won it, it was like, here we fucking go. And then that
Mm.
Rory fight, oh my god. And then Condit fight, holy shit. And then the beginning and the end of Woodley's career began when he knocked out Robbie Lawler because Robbie Lawler was so beloved, everyone hated him for it.
Yes,
And
that is
immediately
true.
after the fight, he called out Nick Diaz when you had Wonder Boy standing on the sidelines like, I've beaten literally everyone else in this division. I deserve that shot.
Mm. Mm.
But yeah, so if John leaves, like it's horrible. Like even though you don't want to see fighters cop too much damage, for the sport, it's never good seeing a champion leave without being beat because it fucks up
Hmm.
that division. Like look at featherweight. People forgot so quickly about Aldo after McGregor beating him and then leaving that people instantly thought that Max was the greatest featherweight of all time after getting two title defenses.
Mm.
And that was because
True.
Conor McGregor up and left the division. Nope, like no one really got to see that top. I don't know. I'm kind of going on a bit of a tangent now. But you understand what I mean? Not
No, I agree with
unless
you.
you see that top guy get beat, the next guy in line is never seen as the top guy.
Mm.
Same thing happened to Cormier when he won the light. Cormier defended his light heavyweight title like 4 times, and no one considered him a champ.
Mm.
He beat Anthony Johnson twice. Fucking Anthony Johnson when Anthony Johnson was literally just turning turning guys to fucking jelly.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Anyways, yeah. So that's the point I'm trying to make. I think I made it. I'm a bit tired. Got a headache, so I don't know if what I'm saying is making complete sense.
No, it makes complete sense. I think it's time to wrap it up. Is there anything else that you want to say?
I think we're pretty good. I think we're pretty good.
Mm.
We've discussed. I guess we'll discuss next week's fights next week
Yeah, that sounds good.
because we are scheduled for next Saturday. It's
Hmm.
true. It's true. And yeah, if you get some time, watch that video that I sent you
Mm.
because that'll break down a little bit more what we've been talking about. And that was over a year ago that was put out. So this Luke Thomas guy has been breaking down fighter pay for a very, very long time,
Mm.
but no one gives a shit. Anyways, you good? Shall we call it? All right. Well, this was fun. Did you want to give a shout out to any?
Team
What's
Takedown,
his name?
represent, Scammer Gym, Best Gym in Narry Warren, and Aussie Pet Doors for all your Aussie Pet Door needs.com.au.
There we go. There we go. I need to cut that and send it to Izzy. He'll love it. All right. Peace out, everyone. It's always fun, and Charmander says bye too.